Hi girls and boys, welcome to another Bill Sky, the C++ guy, and what we're going to do in this video is talk about the assignment operator. Now many of you may already know about this, but you might not know actually how it works, so we're going to get into that. And we're going to do it today on Eclipse with C++ on Windows 11. So as you can see right here, I've got an Eclipse project up and running. Go ahead and pause the video, get yours started, and we'll get to work. So the first thing we're going to do in our program is that we are going to create a new variable, and I'm just going to create an integer. So I'm going to say integer and integer, and I'm going to give it some value of like 100. I'm going to create a string. Hello there. And I'm going to create a double and give it some just arbitrary value. And again, it's always a good idea to initialize your variables. Even if you don't have a value for them, go ahead and put zeros in them. If you create a string, strings, like I said in the string variable video, is that it's just an object, so it's self-initializing. All right, so that is our first example of an assignment operator. Is the assignment operator takes the value on the right, and these are all what they call literals, immediate values. They're values that don't take up any memory. They're actually part of the instruction. And that data, those literals, are then moved into the variables. So the assignment operator always goes from right to left, and there's actually a little bit more to it. We're going to get to that in just a moment, but it moves the data from the right to the left. Now normally an equation like x squared plus y squared equals c squared, it moves from left to right. So x squared plus y squared, or a squared plus b squared, is done first, then that sum is then moved over to the right to the right of the equal sign. But in the case of computers, it goes from right to left. So the value always is calculated on the right first, and then it's moved over to the left, or copied over to the left. Now let's do another example. So I'm going to say an integer equals, and let's go ahead and create another integer. And let's put that, an integer 2, into an integer. Now, what is actually happening under the covers? And this is where we're going to get into more detail than you probably knew. What happens is that in the CPU, shown here an example of a CPU, there are a set of hard-coded, burned into the chip variables called registers. Those registers are what actually do any kind of mathematics. Mathematics is not done in memory, it's done inside the CPU. So what is happening here is an integer 2 is moved into the CPU from memory. So that value of 200 is taken out of memory, put in one of the registers in the CPU. The value in integer may also be put into the CPU, but in this case it's just an assignment. So the number in an integer 2 is put in the register. The assignment statement then says, take that value that's temporarily in the register, which is a copy of an integer 2's value, and then move it into memory labeled an integer. So the CPU has to do this. You have to move data in and out of the CPU. You just can't move it arbitrarily through memory. So the CPU, like I said in previous videos, is the orchestrator of the computer. The data must go through the CPU to get into the memory. Now there are some situations where the CPU, the instructions are such where you don't actually have to move it in the CPU, but it also depends upon the architecture of the CPU. Like for instance, ARM, Raspberry Pis, Mac M1, M2, everything must be loaded in the CPU for it to happen. However, on x86, 64, Intel, and AMD CPUs, some of the instructions let you work directly with memory and not directly into the CPU. So it depends upon the chip, the CPU that you're dealing with. So in this case, this data is going to go into the CPU, then it's going to be put into the memory location for an integer. Same thing happens if I assign a value using a literal. Again, this is a literal or an immediate value. That immediate value of 300 maybe put into the CPU first and then moved into the memory of an integer, and it overwrites what was originally in an integer's memory location. Remember, every value is a label to an actual memory address. Some of you may be asking, well, what is the memory address of a variable? Well, I can simply say count, ampersand, and then the variable name. And what that will do is that ampersand says, hey, go get me the address of that memory variable and print it to the screen. Now let's go ahead and debug. The warning that we get here is that we have an unused variable, in this case, this variable right here. That's okay. Let's go ahead and run it. Now I believe this is the first time we're going to run it. Oh, no. All right. So here you go. Here's the hello world. Here's the program ending, cout, and there's the output of our variable address. That is the address in memory where the variable is. Now that is what we call hexadecimal, and that hexadecimal output is the actual address in memory. And if I just want to print out the value, I don't put the ampersand in front of the variable name. I just go ahead and put the variable name. And if I run it this time, you can see the variable name, or the variable value, the value inside of the memory that the variable is labeled or pointing to is that number, and then that's the address. So remember, the ampersand simply says, give me the address of the memory variable. So the assignment statement is pretty interesting in that you move data from the right to the left, but it may have to go into the CPU first, and the data isn't actually moved into the CPU from memory, it's copied into the CPU from memory. So I might be using the word move quite a bit, and it might cause a little bit of confusion, but remember, there really is no way of moving data from one location in memory to another and deleting with a single statement. You actually have to copy it first, and then you can overwrite it with zeros or whatever. Now I can also, and we did that up here, I can also move one memory variable or one variable in memory to another variable in memory, but there's also something that we can't do. Like, I can't take a string and make it equal to an integer. Now the reason I can't do that is that those are two different data types. So I'm going to build that. And a string, now that looks like it might work, but let's go ahead and count a string. And let's see what happens. It prints this strange, it doesn't know what to print. Because I moved an integer into a string variable, it doesn't know what to print. It just prints this strange little thing there. And so this might syntactically be correct, but logically it's incorrect because I'm trying to move an integer into a string. Now the other problem with this is that we may have what we call a memory leak, where the data that was originally in the string, as you can see right here, hello there, that might actually have been lost and may not be retrievable. So you want to be very careful when you do things like that. Another thing, let's see another problem. Let's try to move a string into an integer and see what we get. We actually get a compiler error in this case. And what this is saying is that a string is an object, and it doesn't know how to move an object into an integer, which an integer is a base data type in the language. A string is an extended. It's what we call an abstract data type. It's a class, it's an object, and the compiler just doesn't know what to do with the assignment operator. So when you get something like this, it's a definite indication that you may be trying to mix data types that are not mixable. So let's go ahead and delete that so we can compile. Now something else to know on the assignment operator, if we say an integer equals a double, that's perfectly legal. That will actually compile and link, no problem. If we then say print, let's take a look what the integer looks like. The integer has the same value as the double, except it doesn't have the decimal point. So what happens is when you move or when you assign a value from a double, a floating point, to an integer, which is a non-floating point, it only contains the whole number, you lose that decimal point. You lose it. It goes away. It doesn't round up. It doesn't round down. Just gets chopped off. Now, if you copy or if you assign an integer to a double, that's perfectly fine. So if I do this, what happens there is another conversion, and what it does is it converts the integer with no decimal point to a floating point, which has a decimal point, but that decimal point, the fractional component, will be all zeros. So if I go ahead and run that, you'll see that our integer, or our new double value, shows as the integer value, and it doesn't show any decimal points because cout by default, if the decimal point is 0.00, or if it's all zeros to the right of the decimal point, it doesn't even bother printing it. And when we talk about outputting data, formatting the output of data, we'll show you how to fix that. So in summary, the assignment statement, it just moves the data or copies the data from the right to the left. It may temporarily put that data in the CPU and then send it to memory for storage, but it always goes from right to left, and there are some conversion issues which we'll talk more about in future videos. Hope to see you at the next video.